Well, so the whole world is in an uproar because President Trump signed his executive order ending the automatic birthright citizenship in the United States. And I'm shocked that everyone is surprised. I mean, well, anyway, so he signed it, and um, there shouldn't be that much of a surprise because other countries have done the same thing over the years. I mean, did you know that India used to have automatic birthright citizenship for foreigners too, and that everyone that came into India and um, had a baby in the country would have automatic Indian citizenship for their child. That ended in 1987. Okay, so I mean, governments have the right to do that whenever they feel that it is necessary to do it. My point is that although people are disappointed, um, I believe it is the right of the country as a whole to do what they feel is best for their country. The thing that probably people can rightly talk about is whether the president really has the authority to end what is enshrined in the Constitution of the United States. And that's up for debate. Personally, I think that um, having listened to both sides of the argument, it seems very possible that the president has acted beyond his powers because there is a laid down procedure for amending the constitution of every country, and in the United States the procedure is to have at least two-thirds majority of both houses, that's the Congress, and then the Senate approving to have an amendment to the Constitution. And then after that, three-fourths, that is, um, yeah, three-fourths of the 50 states in the United States have to ratify um, that amendment in their legislature. So it's a very difficult process to amend the Constitution, but that is the laid down procedure to have any changes done. President Trump is aware of that. I mean, come on, he is an ex-president, so he knows how things work, and he knows that he had to do it. He knows what was the right way to have it done, but he decided to use his executive order. And now people are proceeding to court to challenge that because it is very likely that what he did was beyond his powers. Experts have said that he has acted beyond his powers, and they are proceeding to court to have to have a decision on that. I think that as far as I know, the American Civil Liberties Union has immediately sued the Trump administration and declared that his actions were unlawful and illegal. And also, I know that about 22 attorneys general in the United States have also come together to challenge the president's action in court. So the decision is yet to be made whether or not the president has exceeded his powers. Um, his argument, honestly, when you look at it, the man has, it sounds right what he's saying, because he feels that people have taken advantage of that law in his country to come visit the United States, have kids, and then go back to their countries, and kind of use that as what they call it birth tourism, and he feels that that is an abuse of the system, so he's trying to stop it. Now, automatic birthright citizenship in the United States is enshrined in the Constitution of the country. It is found in Section 1 of the 14th Amendment to the United States Constitution, and it reads as follows. It says that all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and the states wherein they reside. So that's the 14th Amendment, Section 1 to the United States Constitution. Here is the argument that the Trump administration is making, that there is a portion of that statement that has not been well interpreted, and he feels that the Supreme Court over the years have not really paid much attention to that particular section of the amendment, and that is what his lawyers are going to base their case on, it seems, in court. President Trump, when he was signing that executive order, expected to be challenged in court. So this was his plan. He knew that the executive order probably wouldn't fly, so wouldn't, work, and he expected to be challenged in court. But that appears to have been his strategy, or that appears to be his strategy. He expects to end up in court all the way to the Supreme Court, and he wants a reinterpretation of that particular section of the amendment. So that's what is happening, because the particular portion of the amendment that he's concerned with and that he feels has to be properly interpreted is this portion that says that, and subject to the jurisdiction thereof. Let me read this portion to you again. Let me read the entire Article 14, Section 1 to you again. It says that all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and the states wherein they reside. He feels that the portion that says and subject to the jurisdiction thereof has not been properly interpreted, and he feels that if it is properly interpreted, it would exclude all those people that come from foreign countries to have to give birth in his country, U.S., and have their children being granted automatic American citizenship. He feels that those people and the child, even though born in the United States, are not subject to the jurisdiction of the United States, and therefore do not qualify to be granted automatic birthright citizenship. That is going to be the thrust of his argument in court, all the way through the district courts to the appeal courts to the Supreme Court of the United States. This is going to be the thrust of his argument. Okay, so honestly, it can go both ways. People are very confident that because other experts have claimed that or said that President Trump appears to have exceeded his powers as president, and that he cannot amend a constitution by executive order. I'm sure that Mr. Trump knows this. Okay, he has a plan, he has a strategy. He expects to end up in court, and what he actually wants is a reinterpretation by the Supreme Court of what it means to say that subject to the jurisdiction thereof. He wants a reinterpretation of that. Mind you, other people that oppose what he has done have said that, one, he doesn't have the authority to amend the Constitution. That appears to be a fair argument. Okay, and they have also said that he doesn't have the power to amend the United States Constitution, and that he has exceeded his powers. And also, they argue, including the American Civil Liberties Union, they argue that the president's arguments are not sound arguments, because the amended act, the Constitution is not ambiguous. That the 14th Amendment to the Constitution is not ambiguous, and they say that the Supreme Court has in the past affirmed the unambiguity of the 14th Amendment to the United States Constitution. Yeah, so they feel that it is unambiguous. In other words, that the 14th Amendment is not subject to varied interpretation, that it is very clear by saying that every person born in the United States is automatically a U.S. citizen. They feel that that is clear cut, is not ambiguous, and that is their argument. So Mr. Trump feels that there has to be a reinterpretation of that particular portion of the 14th Amendment. I'm talking about the 14th Amendment to the United States Constitution. I'm talking about. So yeah, that has been the argument. So the American Civil Liberties Union feels that President Trump he doesn't have the authority to revoke the 14th Amendment by executive order. They also feel that the amendment itself, the 14th Amendment itself, is unambiguous and so does not require any further interpretation by the Supreme Court. And that appears to be what President Trump is seeking to have. And the opponents to what the president has done claim that the Supreme Court has on 2 occasions already affirmed the unambiguity of the 14th Amendment to the Constitution, and therefore it does not require any other interpretation. But it appears from what the president has done that he wants to force the issue back. He wants to force the issue back to the Supreme Court again for a reinterpretation of the particular portion that says that that people born in the United States should be subject to the jurisdiction thereof. Okay, so that particular portion is going to be. This is going to be a long, drawn-out thing that's going to probably last for a few years or whatever, because it's something that really concerns some portion of the U.S. public. And to be fair, I've heard people say that this has not started with President Trump. So it's been something. It's been in the American political debate for quite a while. And let's see how it goes.